I just want you to start off by telling your story. What brought you here to Nebraska? Tell us your background, how you got here.
Yeah, man. So, out of high school, I had 18 sacks, was dominating my senior season, 35 TFLs, right? Um, didn't have good grades, so I had to go to Juco for a quick little semester. Went there, got 6 sacks, balled out, right? Nobody was recruiting me, and I was a little confused about it. So, Nebraska hit me up talking about come to our little summer camp. Went to the summer camp, balled out. They gave me an opportunity to walk on. Got in last year, 4 games, got 2 sacks against Michigan State, Northwestern. And then this year took off. I had 5 sacks. Obviously, the game against Rutgers that did really well. And then just just trying to find my way this year, and then that'll continue into next year.
So, that's a word.
What was that process like going from high school to JUCO? Kind of betting on yourself. That process. What did you learn about yourself during that time?
Well, a couple of things. So one, I could play at this level. That's a fair everybody guy. Like you get to this level, it's like, man, is what I did in high school, is that gonna work? And then that obviously that translated. So I'm like, okay, well now I know I got the confidence to be able to play at this level. But then it's the other thing is like, you're not walking in and everybody telling you great. You have to earn that. It's not I'm coming to Nebraska and I got 100 people in my comments telling me I'm the best thing that's ever happened. Like that's not the case at JUCO.
Right.
Really got to learn how to bet on yourself and really trust yourself and really tell yourself all the time you can do it. So it's a good confidence builder.
Right. So when you first got to Nebraska, what was it like? Like, you hear kind of probably about the GBR and, the fan base and 90,000 and stuff like that. When you got here, was it overwhelming? Was it like, man, this feels like home? What was it like for you?
For sure. No, it was a lot of first. But I could quickly tell that I grew acclimated. I'm sure you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Like once you play in front of everyone and you really get the feel for it. Because like saying 90,000 and actually being in front of 90,000, that's different.
Different. It's a different ball game
for sure.
Yeah, man. So you got something, Mike?
You just kind of hit on it. We talk about confidence is everything in this world. In our game of life, like I was around some great players, and the one thing that I took away from my time in the NFL was don't ever lose your confidence, because once you lose it, it's real hard to get it back. Like if you look at baseball, if a guy goes into a slump and not hitting, right? Same with basketball. A guy starts missing, it starts to get into the head, it trickles down to how they play. Now it trickles into the off field, off court, off whatever, right? And everything goes at once. And so let's talk about the adversity, because going to JUCO, I never went, but I've heard nothing about those are your true dogs. Like to go through JUCO and to come out alive on the other side, and not only alive, but thrive on the other side. It takes a lot. It takes a lot inside to get you to that point. So talk about the dog days of a JUCO and how hard that really is for the people who don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a struggle for sure. It's the trenches. It's not like you don't get like you get one shirt, one pair of shorts, and one like not even shoes. Like I don't even get cleats. So
wait. They didn't give you no pair of cleats?
Hell nah.
Oh,
no.
That's crazy.
That was all self-funded. Nah, so
talking about self-funded.
Nah, so it's not easy. It's like, and that's like the relationships you form in JUCO, those are real.
Yeah.
I was blessed to have that in Nebraska too, just because like it was kind of a similar structure in terms of like off season stuff and like what you was dealing with off the field. But JUCO, it was like you really had to bear down with everyone else that you was with, because you don't got like you don't have like a good fan base. You don't have like an established like culture. Like there's not people throwing NIL deals at you left and right. So it's true grinded out football. It was, if I had to be honest, it's kind of like if you kept playing high school football, but only with the super seniors. You got guys from all different walks of life. You got guys that like don't deserve to be there. They just there because they're being happy, right? And then like you got D1, you got D1 bounce backs, you got D2 bounce backs, guys trying to make it. You got guys like me who didn't have good grades. You got guys coming in who like maybe they're the coach's son. Like it's all kind of different walks of life. But you really form good connections when you like that. Especially like I don't know how it was in with Frost and all them, but like I kind of had the same kind of relationship the last couple of years at Nebraska, just because it's like we in this together. It's us versus the world,
right?
So
we all we got, we all we need.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get to Nebraska, and I guess that was kind of my question too. Was like the summer camp workout. Like it's how how long before that was fall camp, or long after that was fall camp?
Oh, I had 2 weeks.
2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
So there was no like playbook and like get acclimated to this, and this. It was 2 weeks and you're thrown in the fire.
Yeah, and them first 2 weeks and that fall camp was brutal because I didn't know the playbook, obviously. So it's like I'm walking in there, everybody like, why the hell are you messing this up? Like, what is this? Like, why aren't you doing? Why don't you know the playbook? Why don't you know these plays? I'm like, I ain't never seen the playbook before.
Right.
You know, so it's like, no. So them first couple weeks were hard, and then it was just trying to like acclimate myself and like grow up a little bit. You know, I was late to a lot of stuff and stuff like that. Like, he'll tell you about all that. Like he saved me in the Iowa game. Like I was late. I was late getting to the Iowa game after I'd already redshirted.
Okay,
but nah.
You did me dirty on that one.
I know I'm tripping. That's my bad.
You did me dirty twice.
When
I had breakfast. I'm gonna spill the beans. This is the locker room. He out of here. So I was on. We was on the road, right? And I'm doing breakfast check. You remember this?
What game?
Where were we? Maybe Illinois.
It was Illinois, but I had a concussion that week. That was why that's why I didn't come, because I didn't think I had to.
No. We were on the road. We had a breakfast check, and this is the day of the game. So I'm crossing everybody off. Everyone's like, "Where's James Williams? Where's James Williams?" And Coach Rule looking at me, he like, "Where he at?" And I'm like, I don't know, Coach. Blah blah. Bro had slid in the back door. He slid in the back door of the breakfast. Like he went through the back room of the kitchen to get into the meeting room. So he slid in behind me. Coach Rule looking at me like, "How you miss him?" Blah blah. I'm like, "My bad, Coach." I looked at James. I said,
"Man,
I ate it though. I ate it. I sure did."
I'm gonna take full responsibility for that. So we was playing Colorado. That was my first ever trip.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize we had to be down there at like 7:30. Because I was thinking like, because that's an hour back. I was thinking an hour 4, so it's like 8:30.
Yeah.
So I was late as hell getting down there. So I'm like, shit, they can't see me going through the front. So I like snuck through like the little like the tunnels, like the little kitchen that they got to the tunnels from the hotel. And so yeah, he didn't see me. He's like, "You ain't want to come tell me you was here?" I was like, "Oh, it's my bad. It's my bad." I was in reality, I was just trying to duck Coach Rule,
and I knew what it was too. I knew him came in the back, and I was like, "I got this on me. I missed him." There was a lot of people coming at once. My bad, Coach. I won't let it. I ate it on the chin. I was like, "Whatever. It is what it is."
I appreciate that.
My dog.
So you go from 2 weeks before fall camp, and then you step on the scene. I believe first time was Northwestern.
Yes, sir.
So what was that like during that process? What was the number, like, a few things that during that process you had to grow as James Williams, as, outside of football, but also like on the field, like your technique and stuff like that. I'm sure it was, a lot with Coach Knighton and stuff like that. What was that like, that 5 to 6 week span?
Yeah, for sure. I was in the lab with him a lot. Like he was just trying to get me prepared, because I think he knew like what I could do, and like he knew I was going to get on the field at some point, right? So he had me working on scout team against our offensive line, just trying to see what I could do. And then he was trying to get me in different packages throughout the year, like trying to get me looks. Like I remember last year when we went to Boulder, I was going to play against Colorado. That's why it was such a big deal that I was late to breakfast. So they was just like slowly, patiently waiting for me to like get it, basically, like know the playbook well enough to be able to come in and make an impact, right? So I'm working against Bryce Benhart and then Turner and Teddy all last year, like just getting ready, and I'm whooping them in practice, right? Like Coach,
he really was though. I ain't even gonna cap. He was
like they can't like this dude, a fifth, 6th year senior can't block me, right? So like Coach Rule looking at it, right? And he watching this in practice, because he watching the offense all the time. So he like, man, we got to get this kid on the field. So he go to T White and T Knight and give him the green light, and he's like, hey, like, let's put him in on package. So like they made a whole different like pass rushing package just for me, so I could get in the game. So I'm grateful for that. And then went in and just did my thing.
So it's signing day, right? Got a bunch of young guys coming in here. What you just said was, what I heard was your scout team reps was invaluable. Like they were like, those were the times where you got better and stuff like that. For a young guy coming in, what would you tell them? Getting put on scout team, getting put on, different, 3rd, 4th string, reps that probably aren't on the, first field, right? What would you tell them about those reps and about that development during that time?
Yes, sir. So now, if I was talking to a young kid who has a lot of potential, but he's just like really upset that he's on scout team, because it's like, hey man, I came here, I thought I was going to play. Like, I thought I was gonna come in like right away and come be an immediate starter because that's how everybody thinks out of high school, right? Like I'm gonna come in and change this place. I'm gonna be different. I would just say like be patient and have a good attitude about it, right? Because if you don't have a good attitude about it, you're not gonna put like you're not gonna put like good work and good effort in, right? And then it doesn't even end up mattering. Like they're not gonna look at you the same. Like they're gonna look at you and be like, okay, I can't go to war with this kid. So it's really like you can't look at them opportunities as like, man, they hate me, they're trying to get rid of me. Like those are opportunities for you to get better. And it's really about your mindset and how you think about it. Because if you don't if I'm not putting good energy towards it, I know I'm not putting my full effort towards it.
Right.
And then they're not seeing the full side of me. So it's really about like the mentality and the effort and like the attitude that you have towards it. If you have a good attitude towards it, I know for like them, every single one of them boys who has a good attitude on scout team, they always bring up. Every single person who they don't, they kind of just forget about.
And that's the harsh truth about it.
Yeah,
that's great.
Who can block you?
Yeah, no one. Come on.
Okay,
now.
all right. I would just make it sure. I was just making sure.
At least no one in the Big Ten so far.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Your time here, it wasn't long, but you made an immediate impact. You made an impact, right? Even on me, like that story I have forever. It wasn't the most ideal thing. I was hot at you in that moment. I'm like, but it's something I get to carry. We can laugh about now.
For sure.
What is like, you had a great relationship. You have a great relationship with T-Night.
Yeah.
And seeing him leave today, right?
Yeah.
That went out today finally. How you feel about that? What does that mean to you?
I'm sad. I really thought our time in Lincoln was good. I really felt like we could have built something great here together. The culture that we had in the D-line room was infectious. And, you guys had Gabe on yesterday. He was always around us. Like that's an offensive player. Like that's not really how it is in Nebraska. Everything's kind of separated. It's offense and defense. But Gabe, Emmett, Dylan Raiola, even like he was always in our room trying to talk to us. He was on our fine board. Like the culture that we created inside the D-line room was great, man. And I really wish it could have been like the entire team was like that, but it just didn't work out that way, and it sucks. But I'm really sad to see him go, but obviously I'm going to be looking towards him during my recruiting process. So,
James, I got to know what happened on that play where you hurt Curtis Rourke's thumb. I don't think that gets talked about enough. You went on a tear with 2 sacks and 2 Big Ten games, but people don't bring up the thumb enough.
I appreciate you bringing that up, man. Like I was telling you, it was ridiculous. He's a Heisman contending quarterback, and ain't nobody want to mention the fact that I like broke his thumb and knocked him out for 2 weeks. No, that was bad. Everything that like could have gone bad in that game went bad, and it was starting to happen around that point. I think at that point it was 14-7 or 21-7, and they was driving. We finally got him to 3rd down, which we couldn't do the entire game. So I get subbed in, right? I'm like, okay, bet this is my time to make a move. I come off the edge, I rip, lean, got a great rush on him. He instantly got the ball out, reached, smacked his hand. As soon as I hit, I was like, damn, okay, whatever. I turned around, he completed the pass. I look in my glove, there's like a ton of blood in my hand. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, am I bleeding? I turn around and he's like shaking his hand violently. I'm like, oh, okay, I got him. All right, bet, because I thought I had only hit the ball. He still finishes the drive and completes it for a back shoulder fade to number 13. and like he's like still balling and everybody, he's like still holding his hand. I'm like, is this kid invincible? What the hell's going on?
Is he invincible?
And then the backup came in and torched us. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, he did. The backup came in and went crazy.
But he was insane. Like there was this play, I got a free rush on him. I hit the hell out of him. Like I was seeing stars. I hit him so hard. Knocked him to the ground. Turned around, he threw the cleanest back shoulder fade on Sierra I'd ever seen before. Again to number 13. I'm like, who is this kid?
Number 13.
Bro, that kid was good. That kid's good.
Before we left off, and thank you for that question, Bob, because I didn't even think about it. So I'm happy you brought that up, man. What has Nebraska meant to you, man? Like you said, the opportunity to come from a Juco where you didn't even get cleats from them to now you get whatever. I mean, you get whatever you want, right? You get all the stuff. You got 90,000 people cheering on SackMan. Talk about it. What has that meant to you?
No, everything. The fans here was what was the greatest part of my experience here. Excuse me. Like the fans here is what makes it it makes it fun to come in. Like even on days where I don't want to come into the facility and my head hanging low, like those Saturdays they pick me up.
Yeah.
Playing in front of 90,000 people who truly have your back, that means a lot. Like even like walking down the street, like people recognize me. I'm a DN. Like that don't happen at other schools. Like you like it's different if you see Dylan walking down the street and it's like, oh, that's Dylan Raiola. He's the starting quarterback. But like me, like I'm walking down the street to go get Chipotle. They're like, hey, SackMan, how you doing? I'm like, yeah, I appreciate y'all. So it sucks, and like people don't want to hear this, but this is a business, and like I gotta do what's right for me.
Yeah,
and this it's just not right for me, but it sucks because I really wish I could have done great things here, and I thought we could have. I thought we had a lot of pieces to do some great things here, and it's just bittersweet.
Yeah, no, and we talked about that with Gabe too, right? Like when a coach sits in your living room or whatever, they talking to you. Your whole idea when you commit to school is not to leave. Now, when you go to Juco, that was obviously your goal was to leave.
Yeah.
But when you come to Nebraska, you like, I want to ride this out. This is home now. This is where I'm going to spend the rest of my time. And unfortunately, it just doesn't play out that way always, right? God always has another plan. And so we try to get the fans, the people to understand that a lot goes into these decisions and they're calculated. You talk about that being calculated with Gabe. They don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm leaving. Like, no, that's not the case, right? And it's always love. And we want them to understand how important they are down there on Memorial Lane, Memorial Drive, Memorial, whatever you want to call it, on Saturdays. And again, you just talk about going to Chipotle and somebody saying, what up, SackMan, just making your day.
Yeah.
Right. They don't understand how much positive influence they can have, but also the inverse too, right?
Yeah,
like
not the negative.
You know what I mean? If you negative, this is what we really try to get them to understand here. Like we talk about this all the time on the show of you guys make a difference, right? When you say, oh, it's another one of those seasons, it's another one of those seasons. Oh, here we go again, Nebraska being Nebraska. You instantly impact them, right? You instantly impact the guys who play on Saturdays. And so it's important that you say something like that and get them to understand how much weight they carry with you guys.
Yeah, 1,000%. Like obviously the news about me entering the portal dropped on Hayes' account last night, and then I'm reading some of the comments, and like it's pretty split, right? Like half are good, like half are like, man, you'll always be a Husker, I appreciate you, and then like half of them are like, man, get out of here, you bum, like we can't wait to get rid of you. I'm like, damn, I didn't mean no like bad
right.
It's no
what I do to you.
Yeah, I know, like,
what I do, man.
There's no ill will towards y'all. Like this is just something I got to do. Like you know, so it's hard. Like it's not the easiest thing. Like because I love the fans here. You know, it's like it's not anything against them. It's just something I have to do. You know, it's the best for my development in terms of getting to the NFL.
Yeah.
For sure. So you talked about Indiana getting subbed in on third down, and I kind of want to hit on that. Like you as a player on the field, like where do you see yourself thriving in the best system? Do you feel as if you're every down guy? And like where in the offseason, where do you want to see your game go to, and who do you think you are as a player?
Yeah, hell yeah. So I thought this year I made good strides in getting better at what I was already good at, like getting dominant at it, right? But like there's still like a whole other aspect to my game I got to improve, which is like stopping the run. So I do want to try and be an every down player, like you were saying. I think it's important to me that I become someone that they can rely on in the run game versus someone who becomes a liability. And then my biggest thing is I want to become a guy who forces a lot of turnovers. You know, like I'm kind of over the gimmick of getting sacks. Like getting sacks is cool, right? But like getting a strip sack, giving the ball back to our offense on like 25-yard line, like that's a completely different story. That could have changed a lot of different games, I felt like, this year.
Right.
So that's my goal for next year, is like making sure I force like 5-6 fumbles at least. You know, becoming someone who can really create turnovers in different ways. You know, because like that's the difference between like TJ Watt and Micah Parsons. Like Micah Parsons is great, but like how many times you see him get a forced fumble? Like if y'all watch that Bengals Steelers game, like TJ Watt, like he didn't even get the sack. He just saw Joe Burrow's hand, smacked it out of his hand, and gave the Steelers the ball, and that's all that mattered. That ended up being the difference in the game. So just elevating my game to a different level, like, and improving on what I was already great on, like improving my strengths and diminishing my weaknesses.
That's a word. I like that though, and it's so interesting how different people in different positions watch the game.
Yeah,
you were sitting there watching TJ Watt go straight for the ball, right? I'm watching the running back, or you know, like, hey, did he make his chip block? Did he get out? Did he miss a block? Did he miss the blitz here? Right? He over here looking at TJ Watt, making sure he did his swim move and then stripped the ball instead of going for the sack. I love it. That's just a game of football, man.
Sure. That's why I feel like that's why so many people love it.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like. In basketball, it's 1 through 5, right? And like it's kind of hard to relate to everyone because they're 6'11", like 7 feet tall. Like they can do stuff athletically that like 98% of the population can't do, right? If you play in football, the running back could be 5'6", 5'7",
Right,
5'8",
yeah.
and then the tallest player will probably be like the left tackle, like 6'7", 6'8", right?
Yeah.
Like there's just 1 through 11, like you can relate to someone on that field somehow, some
Yeah.
way. And like I said, there's 11 versus 5 versus like 9 people in baseball. It's like, those are all guys like little kids can watch and be like, oh man, I want to try and be a corner now because I'm watching Tommy Hill or Sierra Wright do it, and I was like, oh, okay, they can do it. I'm trying to be a safety because I see Deshaun Singleton do it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's more. I feel like it's more relatable.
Yeah. What do you want the next team to know about you? Like, who are they getting in the person and the player?
Dog, man. Like, I'm real. Like, I don't do fake stuff. I'm not like one to try and like give you a fake image or something like that. Like I'm gonna give it my all every single day. I'm a violent player, I would say. Like my goal is not to just go out there and just do whatever's told of me on the paper. Like I'm trying to make plays every play. Like I'm running to the ball, trying to go get the ball out, go make sure he's tackled. Like I'm trying to make every single play.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who's just gonna fit into your system and do it. Like I will, but like I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability and even beyond.
What's a player, former college or NFL, probably NFL, that like you try to model your game after?
For sure. There's been a couple at like my earlier years. I would say it was Micah Parsons, just because like our ability, we both got the ability to bend around the edge and like hit different moves like that. I gotta be like, in terms of like where I want my game to go, JJ Watt, because he has the perfect blend of strength and speed.
Yeah.
He was unblockable because you didn't know he was unpredictable. I feel like the one aspect of my game I could really improve on is like everybody knows what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat you around the edge. Now they can't stop it, but it's like,
Bro,
like
I love this, bro. I love this, bro. Go, keep going.
My bad.
My bad.
They can't stop it, right? So like, and like even when like they were even getting close to, like I was developing a spin move, right? But it's like my game, like I want an offensive lineman to be sitting back there trying to get ready to block me, and he's like, I have no idea what the hell I'm gonna do. Like that kind of confusion and that kind of like that unfocus is what is everything that I want. That fear before the play even starts is everything I strive for.
Oh my! I gotta ask this question, bro. Where does this belief in yourself come from? Is it
because everyone always doubts me? Everyone, like I wasn't highly recruited out of high school. Like these phone calls that we taken, like this is the first time I ever been recruited. Nobody wanted me. Like I had like some stuff go down with my family. Like it felt like they didn't want me. It's like it felt like that. Like some of the fans right now, like the backlash I'm hating, and I don't want to say it's everyone because it's not, but it's like they don't want me either. Like cool, like I have a mentality of like it's me versus the world. Like I have a small knit group, and I trust those people with my life. And outside of that, like all right, hi, like what like I don't got. I'm not putting any energy towards stuff I can't control.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
So it's like I want to make sure that like everyone knows like I don't give a damn what you think about me. Like I am unapologetically myself. Yeah.
Was there anything in the chat?
There's a couple. So Jay chimes in, says we love the SackMan. So just kind of a question: where did that nickname come from? Obviously, it's somewhat self-explanatory, but how did it get to you?
Yeah. No. So we were just sitting in a meeting, and T&I walked in. He was like, he started writing out the depth chart for one of our packages that we were going to put in. Right. It's called Cheetah, and he goes, all right. He goes 1 or 10. At the time, it was 1 at the time. So 10, 9 for Ty. Then 18 for P. Will. And instead of saying my number, he goes, and SackMan on the right. He didn't even put my number down. He literally just wrote SackMan on the board, and everyone was just like stood around confused as hell. And then he said it again, like as we were leaving the meeting. I'm like, oh, so this is my nickname now? And he just started saying that around the building, and everybody started calling me that.
Yeah.
Luke Reimer was the one who like made it super popular. He came up to me in front of, like, I was talking to Rule about something, and this is when he and Trev were talking, so like they were talking to me about something, and then Luke Reimer comes up, he's like, hey, what's up, SackMan? And then Rule goes, that's your nickname? And then like he just started calling me out in the team meeting, so then it just stuck.
Yeah,
it
was up and stuck. Man, that's the word, bro. I've loved watching you develop into this, and you're right. And you deserve every bit of it. You deserve every bit of how much your phone is ringing and what's gonna come to you, both in a team, but financially, all of it. Right? You deserve it. You've been working. And your testimony, your story is gonna live on because you went from JUCO to now Nebraska and to wherever else is next. So that's just a story and a testament that you can go back and share to whoever is going through a similar situation later on in life, right? I'm a firm believer that the things we go through in life aren't really necessarily for us, but for the next that comes.
Yeah.
And so, man, we are so appreciative of you joining us today in the locker room.